Coming to you live from TFBN studios in Violet City, this is TFBN News. I'm your host Roogisan, and I'm joined today by Eskimolander. Good evening.
And good evening to you, Roogisan. In this month's top news, here on the Rayjen server, the 29th of August, we experienced some plugin conflicts with the chat logs that ultimately led to the deletion of the Skyblock world. After the world was deleted, we continue to see further error that caused the admin to make the decision to shut the server down in the evening of the 29th. Luckily, though, by the afternoon of the 30th, the server was back up and running, and things seem to be going smoothly. And back to you, Roogie.
Since the server has been restarted, there's been a major construction effort going on at spawn. The old spawn has been completely torn down and a new spawn has been built. As you can see from the footage on your screen, there are several new features included in the new spawn, the first of which is a newbie cage.
I've heard that newbie cage is made out of the latest and greatest in server security technology.
I've heard that as well. Other features include a spawn map on the back wall, as well as the heads of both the admins and also the people that were involved in making the new spawn. Outside you'll find a clock tower, just outside of the spawn boundaries, and also the courthouse has had a major overhaul. It's now fully furnished on the inside and looking very nice.
You can say that there's been a very constructive month here on the server. Speaking of construction, I have heard rumors of a theme park in the works. Hear your thoughts on that, Roogie?
Yeah, I've heard the same rumors, but at this stage there's nothing concrete, nothing's been set. Make sure to stay tuned to TFBN for future updates.
And in further server news, as we have on the Rayjen server here every month, we have the promotions. This month, for being promoted to novices, we have Super Shark 12345, AEL 13, Circus Owner, Llama _ Lantula, and Miner _ Zach07. And being promoted to the elite status is going to be Princess _ Meg _ 1, Tykov K, Zen the Dragon, Fighter 1243, Aqua _ Lady 7157, and Darcy JD.
Congratulations to those players. Finally, in server news, we've got the announcement that the PvP tournament is officially underway as of the 1st of September. The first games will be taking place shortly, so make sure to check out the forums and also stay tuned to TFBN for further coverage.
And now TFBN will be taking a short break, but please stay tuned for gaming news. And welcome back to TFBN News here in the TFBN studio in Violet City. I'm your host, Eskimolander, joined by my co-host, Roogisan. Thank you for joining us.
And in this month's gaming news, Valve, the creators of Half-Life, are teaming up with HTC to produce the Vive, which is a virtual reality headset.
That explains why Half-Life 3 hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, they've been far too busy to work on something like that, which, you know, nobody wants. The Vive is going to be released in the first quarter of 2016. There will be a limited quantity of them available this year, though. Interestingly, price has yet to be announced. It's expected to be in the $400 to $500 mark, but there's certainly nothing concrete on that. But one of the good points of this is that there has been requests for about 10,000 of the software development kits. So that's going to mean that there are going to be large quantities, hopefully large quantities of games available for this fairly quickly. It is going to be released in a competitive market. We've got the Oculus Rift and also Sony are working on a VR headset for the PlayStation 4. That's going to be due out in around the same time. But I guess my real question is, do you think virtual reality is going to take off, Eskimo?
I'm not really sure. As you may know, this is not the first time virtual reality has been attempted. Mind you, back then the technology was fairly different from what it is now. So I think the technology is there. I'm just not sure if the interest necessarily is there.
Yeah.
or how many games it can apply to. Because at the moment, I can really only see virtual reality being a huge deal for games like horror games and things like that.
Mm.
But I think whether or not it takes off, I think it'll certainly earn its place in the gaming community.
Yep, yep, I agree. One thing that I would like to ask is, do you think that this is going to have the same sort of impact that Nintendo's Wii had, in that it's a good idea but not many people go for it? Or do you think that there's going to be a lot of people lining up to get their hands on this at launch?
I think there's going to be a large amount of people wanting it at launch. There's going to be lineups at the door, people standing out overnight, kind of like how they do for a new iPhone, even though it's the same thing every
Mm.
year.
Yeah.
But I think the initial reaction is going to be quite good, but it'll come down to how well the virtual reality is handled and if it really is a virtual reality or if it's just sort of gimmicky.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so I think it'll have a good start, but we'll have to see how it goes from there.
I mean, the other big question is which of the three big VR headsets that are coming out is going to be the most successful. Oculus Rift obviously is the one that's most well known, but Sony's one will be the only one that is available for consoles, so they've sort of got that end of the market sewn up. Do you think that the Vive will really be able to compete with the Rift?
I think in the beginning it's going to have a hard time because it still has to make a name for itself, which
Hmm.
the Oculus has already done.
Hmm.
But if the technology and their hardware and their software and their games, most of all, are better or in higher quantity than that of the Oculus Rift, then I think that even if they have a rough beginning, that they'll certainly be able to rise up and later on.
Yeah, and with 10,000 requests for software development kits, that's a pretty good indicator that it's going to be well supported, I think.
I would think so.
Hmm.
And in other gaming news, YouTube has launched its new website, YouTube Gaming, a very fitting title for this section, I might add. What it is it's the alternative form of YouTube that is available as both an app and online. It makes it easier for gaming commentators and their viewers to connect and find new gaming content other than what they're already watching. It uses a new feature called landing pages that connects people to content creators and viewers to content creators and content creators to viewers of a specific game. So something say like Minecraft, for example. I wonder what that game is actually. Now I think about it. Sounds like a very interesting game. I've never played it. Have you?
We'll have to make sure to play it at some point.
Yeah, it sounds pretty fun.
Hmm.
Anyways, continuing on with the story. So games such as Minecraft would have their own landing page and would list prominent YouTubers such as Stampy,
Eskimolander.
such as Eskimolander, Roogisan, Stampy Longbottom, Sky Does Minecraft, folks like that.
Hmm.
And then another neat feature that I quite enjoyed is that when you search for something, now when you search for, say, the word call, you'll get Call of Duty instead of, well, just people calling on their phone or prank calls or anything like that. When you search something, you only get gaming content.
Hmm.
Now, I think that's quite fascinating. I sort of wonder how they're able to tell what's gaming content and what's not. But I think it's a very good feature. It's very useful to content creators to help them to not just for the big content creators. It's good for smaller folk who want to connect with new viewers, and it's good for viewers who want to connect with new commentators. What are your thoughts on this and how it affects the gaming community, Rugi?
Well, I'm quite excited by it. I think the main benefit is going to be to the viewers in that it's going to be much easier for you guys at home to find videos to watch, to find new content, as well as keeping track of all of the older content and the people that you currently watch. People who have got a presence on YouTube will also have a presence on YouTube Gaming. They don't need to do anything else. Um, it's just going to make the people at home much more accessible to people that make the videos. And I think that's a good thing.
I think so too. Also, going off of what you said, I forgot to mention earlier. Another feature of YouTube Gaming, there is really no divide. Anything uploaded on YouTube is available on YouTube Gaming. So yes, you can still watch BuzzFeed videos on there if you so choose.
Hmm.
But like I said earlier, when you search, you will only see gaming videos. But it means that for content creators, it's very easy to use because if you upload onto YouTube, you're also uploading onto YouTube Gaming.
Mm. The other thing as well is the live streaming features that come with YouTube Gaming, which I don't think we've touched on yet.
No, I don't think we have.
Um,
YouTube does already do a live streaming service, but when you go onto YouTube Gaming, the first thing you'll notice is that live streaming is on the forefront. It is on the home page, and it'll link you to live streams of people streaming content that you have related to what you've previously seen.
mm,
So let's say if you watch someone like say Sky Does Minecraft, but you've never watched a Stampy Longbottom video. You might have watched a Sky Does Minecraft stream, and if Stampy happens to be streaming, you'll see it in the recommendation. Those are just examples. Those are just using some big names as examples, but it goes the same for any YouTuber.
yeah, yeah. So,
Gamer, specifically.
yeah, so again, it's just another way of making new content available to the viewers at home.
Yeah, I think it's a really good innovation. It's going to help commentators and viewers alike.
So how do you think this will compete with Twitch, which is obviously the number one name in live streaming?
I think I'm not quite sure if Twitch or YouTube work together at all in terms of live streaming, but I don't think it'll have a lot of impact on Twitch. I think Twitch is still the go-to place for streaming for the majority of content creators, but I do think that it will open it up to people who may not be interested in Twitch or are unable to use it due to maybe computer incompatibility or something like that.
Mm.
So I think it'll just make it easier for those who would prefer not to use Twitch. But I don't think it'll take anyone away from Twitch.
Absolutely. Last but not least, we had the announcement from Nintendo that Minecraft Story Mode is going to be released for the Wii U. It is the first ever Minecraft game to be released on a Nintendo console, so it's quite a big deal. It's developed by Telltale, who are best known for making The Walking Dead, as well as the Game of Thrones games, and also Jurassic Park. So they have a good reputation. There is obviously going to be some significant differences between the Minecraft that we all know and Minecraft Story Mode. Story Mode obviously is going to be story driven, it's going to be very linear, and presumably if it's made by Telltale it's going to be quite character driven as well. I guess the big question is going to be whether they go together or not, and I'd like to hear your opinion on that a little bit later. But first of all, the story, we'll briefly touch on it. It's going to star a new character. It's going to star Jesse and his friends. It gives you the option to pick a gender and a race for Jesse, so it's going to be friendly to all sorts of ages, all sorts of people. It's going to be a 5-episode series, and it's going to be available on Windows, Mac, the PlayStation and Xbox, as well as the Wii U, which was announced the other day. So, Eskimo, what are your thoughts on this game, and how do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's going to be as successful as the normal Minecraft game?
I don't think it'll be as successful as the normal Minecraft game, simply because Minecraft is so very successful that and the demographic is so varied that I don't believe as many people that are interested in Minecraft would be interested in such a story-driven, character-driven game.
Hmm.
One thing I do find very interesting is that they're not bringing Steve into this, which I sort of hoped for, but on the same side, I do think it makes sense that they didn't, as it would have opened up for a lot of a lot of their fans to be confused or perhaps unhappy if Steve got a story that they didn't agree with or one that they hadn't personally come up with on their own. I do think the story might be a little interesting to group in with such a sandbox game. I think it's they do say that they are going to try and incorporate things like crafting and stuff like that, but I'm not quite sure how that would work if the Telltale is going to be using the same format that they have used in their previous games. As it is a sort of choose your own story type of adventure. But your choices, in my experience I played the 2 Walking Dead games that they came out with. That's all I have played, so my experience might be a little limited. But just based off of those 2, you do get to make choices, but your choices do have very limited impact on the actual overall story.
Yeah. Do you think that the way they are releasing this in the 5 episodes, each episode having to be bought individually or as a season pass, do you think that's going to impact sales? Obviously, Minecraft is sort of a one purchase and then you're good to go for, well, forever basically. Do you think that this sort of uh, episode route was the best way for them to go with this?
Um, I think I think it's a sort of a happy medium between what Minecraft has done and what Telltale has always done.
Hmm.
Telltale has always done the episodic releases and individual purchasing of them,
Hmm.
but and they have also always done the season passes.
Yep.
I think for some players of Minecraft though, it might be a little put offish for such a feature because let's be face it, with Minecraft we have been very, very, very spoiled,
Yeah. I would also
especially especially for people that bought the game when it originally came out.
Yeah, I would also imagine a lot of Minecraft players are going to be quite young, and a sort of ongoing cost to sort of see how the story progresses is going to be a bit prohibitive for them. Obviously, relying on limited funds to have to purchase a Minecraft game every so often is going to be, uh, well, not the best for them.
Yeah, I can see a lot of parents not being entirely interested in something like that,
Hmm.
which I think is one of the main reasons Minecraft has become so popular, because so many games require you to first buy the game and then, every couple of months DLC is coming out, or depending on the game, every couple of weeks.
Hmm.
And sometimes the DLC is just as expensive, or even sometimes even more expensive than the original game. Which for games that have a demographic that is mostly children, a lot of parents are not interested in that type of thing. And Minecraft, for especially for people who bought it in its early days, they bought it once and they have received hundreds of updates, not just bug fixes like you'd see in most patches on your average game, but the game has been completely different. I'm not even sure if you can say Minecraft now and Minecraft then or even the same game, other apart
Absolutely.
from the graphics.
Hmm. I guess the other thing that we should really talk about um, is this a cash grab? Do you feel that they are trying to cash in on the popularity of Minecraft, um, and that the game is going to suffer as a result? Because the differences between the two obviously are very pronounced. There's going to be almost no similarities between the two. You have on the one hand a very open sandbox world, on the other hand a very linear story-driven world. They're very different games. Do you think it was just another opportunity to make money off of the Minecraft name?
Well, that's the thing with Telltale. No, no, don't get me wrong. I love the games that I've played by them. I think they're fantastic games and wonderfully made. But just based off of how their games are and how they themed them, Telltale seems to have it has its business modeled around using others' ideas and refurbishing them in order to create a new game.
Hmm.
Because as we've seen, they've had Jurassic Park, they've had The Walking Dead, they've had the Game of Thrones, they've had Borderlands.
Hmm.
Almost all of their games are taking from somebody else's either movie, comic, TV show, or game,
Yeah.
and using it to make their own story and rehash it to appeal to a different audience.
Yep. That
So
said, though, the actual gameplay is very different, um, to the original game in this case. So it's going to be its own game in its own right. But I personally feel that it's a game that probably didn't need to happen. I mean, Minecraft does not have a story mode.
I think the reason it happened is there is I don't know if I would say if it was a large portion of the Minecraft community, but there is definitely a portion of the demographic that has been asking to find out um, more about the story of Minecraft and how the world came to be, and reasons why is the Ender Dragon there, why is the Wither there, what does Steve do, is Herobrine real, which obviously he is, everyone knows that, and things like that. So I think this came about as Mojang's way of their agreement with Telltale was Mojang's way of giving as much answers as they can to the audience asking for them
Without spoiling it.
without actually ruining anyone's fantasy of what Minecraft
Mm.
is.
Okay, so this builds down or boils down to the big question: will you be playing it?
Probably.
So will I.
Probably.
So will I.
Whether it turns out to be good or bad, I will probably, whether it's a cash grab or if it's a bad game or a good game or if it makes sense for Minecraft to have a story mode, I am definitely very much intrigued and will most likely try to play it.
It might be a cash grab, but it's a cash grab that's grabbed my cash.
Exactly. And if you look at it from a business perspective, that's all they wanted.
Exactly.
So,
Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking about the big releases for September 2015, so stay tuned for that. Welcome back to TFBN News. I'm your host Roogisan, and I am joined as always by Eskimolander.
welcome back. This will be the part of the show where I will be opening it up to you, the viewers, to leave your opinion of the games I'm about to read off the short list in front of me. Down in the description below, tell us which game you're most interested in and why. So I'll just go.
These are all games that are going to be released next month, is that correct?
Yes, in September of 2015. I'm sorry, I should have included that in the beginning. Thank you for correcting me. The games will be this month for September 2015 will be Metal Gear Solid 5, Super Mario Maker, Lego Dimensions, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
And I have to say I'm most looking forward to the last one. I played the original Tony Hawk's way back in 1999 when it was released for the PlayStation 1, and it was fantastic. Anyway, in the next episode of TFBN News, we will once again be covering any server news as well as the promotions, the all-important promotions. We will have the top stories in the world of gaming, and we're also going to have a couple of special in-depth reports. We will be looking at two of the more unusually named games to be released in September. I will be reporting on a game called The Deer God.
And I will be reporting on a game referred to as, what I'm hoping is Armicrog. And so that'll be the end of this report, and I will thank you for tuning in to TFBN News. Stay tuned next time for more information on Dear God and Armicrog, and don't forget to leave your opinions and comments down below. We look forward to reading them. Tune in next time.
Thanks for watching.